Unity says sorry, Lord of the Rings is getting a cute, cozy game, and it seems someone stole Payday 3 servers. I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. It's been a pretty terrible time to work at or with Unity after they announced their new runtime fees a couple of weeks back. They somehow managed to piss off basically every developer that's ever touched their engine, and so that made their apology post over the weekend somewhat inevitable. Penciled by Unity Create lead Mark Witten, he wrote, "I want to start with this. I am sorry. We should have spoken with more of you, and we should have incorporated more of your feedback before announcing our new runtime fee policy. Our goal with this policy is to ensure we can continue to support you today and tomorrow and keep deeply investing in our game engine. You are what makes Unity great, and we know we need to listen and work hard to earn your trust. We have heard your concerns, and we are making changes in the policy we announced to address them." Now, many of the developers threatening to boycott the engine demanded a complete reversal of the policy. However, that's not really what's happening. Instead, Witten explained that games on the Unity personal plan will remain free and won't be eligible for runtime fees. They're also increasing the cap from $100,000 to $200,000 and will remove the requirement to use the Made with Unity splash screen. They've also said that no game with less than $1 million in trailing 12-month revenue will be subject to the fee. There's changes for those using the Pro and Enterprise plans too. The fee will now only apply to games that ship in 2024 and beyond, and that use the next version of Unity. And overall, the reaction has been mixed. Most of all, there seems to be relief amongst developers. It means they can release the games they've been working on for years without any sudden changes they haven't accounted for. That being said, any trust that the community had in Unity is still in tatters, and it's going to take an exceptionally long time to claw any of it back. What do you think of Unity's apology though? Should devs still jump ship? Let us know in the comments down below. The third patch of Baldur's Gate 3 went live on Friday, and with it came a whole load of changes that have got people talking. Now, I could go into detail for perhaps the biggest update, which is improved performance in the lower city. Hopefully, that means I'll no longer have to listen to Hanif cry about his bad FPS in Act 3.
It's a big problem.
But there's a few more things worth highlighting. First up, visit your camp and you'll come across the magic mirror. Now, sadly, it doesn't reveal the fairest of them all, otherwise everyone would get to see my boy Johnny Saxon. Instead, it allows you to change your appearance, voice, and pronouns whenever you'd like, which is nice for those who thought it'd be funny to have cloud makeup, only for it to completely ruin the romance scenes, or improve it, depending on your preferences. There's some minor changes too, things that literally no one asked for, like the Mind Flayer transformation scene that's even more horrifying now. Thanks for that one, Larian. There's also a big debate around His Majesty. That's the cat that roams around the Last Light Inn. You see, previously the sassy little bastard looked like this. Well, it turns out the lack of hair was actually a bug. He now has a full coat of fur, and people are not happy. Oh, and one more change, Gale is a lot less horny now. The Payday 3 Early Access launched on Thursday, however, it's been an absolute nightmare due to server issues. You see, unlike its predecessor, the latest title opted for everyone's favourite feature, the requirement to always be online. Yay! And it seems to be biting Starbreeze Studios in the butt. In fact, the issues have been so bad that CEO Tobias Högland tweeted an apology within 24 hours. He said, "We are so sorry that the infrastructure didn't hold up as expected, and although it's impossible to prepare for every scenario, we should be able to do better. We work tirelessly until we have restored all services and our players can get back to heisting again without issues." Now, it's all quite funny because just 2 days before, he featured in a video hyping up the game. When talking about the release, he said, "Without you, this never could have happened." Well, it turns out with you, it also couldn't happen because the servers just couldn't hack it. And the game's review scores are suffering as a result. The user rating on Metacritic is currently sitting at a measly 2.1. Ouch. The Lord of the Rings looks to be getting its own cozy life sim. Titled Tales of the Shire, it's being developed by New Zealand-based Weta Workshop, the same special effects and prop company behind the films. Now, I'll be honest, I've never been a big fan of cozy sims or farming games. One, they're just a bit too grindy for me, and two, there's just so damn many of them. But you know, if you delicately fade in the masterpiece that is Concerning Hobbits, and you paint my screen with idyllic scenes of round doors and hobbit holes, I might just be swayed. Sadly, we haven't seen any gameplay for Tales of the Shire yet, but we can expect that there'll be more Lord of the Rings titles to come. Last year, the entertainment rights for the franchise were acquired by Embracer Group, and one of the execs there has been heard essentially saying, "I want games of Lord of the Rings! We paid so much money for those rights, you better pump out some goddamn Lord of the Rings games!" Now, obviously that doesn't always work out, looking at you, Gollum, but we know an MMO is in the works and a crafting survival game set in Moria, and now with a cozy farming sim too, it's got me thinking what else is possible. Maybe a gritty Souls-like game, or maybe they pay Larian to make them a sick CRPG set in Middle-earth, or maybe the Gamgee GP, where Samwise and friends race it out across the Shire. Or maybe not. And now it's time for a little weekend wrap, because a whole load of stuff happened and we're going to compact it down into nice digestible morsels. First up, Valve have said don't expect the Steam Deck 2 to launch in the next couple of years. They want to offer a notable bump in performance while retaining power efficiency and battery life, so it's going to take a little while before the technology is there. They are currently selling refurbed Steam Decks for cheap though, so that's always nice. Meanwhile, Platinum Games have announced that Hideki Kamiya is leaving the studio. He was one of the original founders back in 2006 and worked on titles like the Bayonetta series and the Wonderful 101. In his own tweet, he says he made the decision based on his own beliefs, so it seems the departure was somewhat amicable. He also signed off with "keep your eyes peeled," teasing that more things are to come. Just remember to not reply in English or you will get blocked, as he likes to remind everyone with his Twitter header image. A new Star Wars Jedi game is also in development. It was revealed by lead actor Cameron Monaghan when he was asked by a fan at Ocala Comic-Con. Not sure he was meant to reveal that or that he was allowed to, but hey, I ain't complaining. Not all Star Wars fans are happy though. A bunch of them have launched a class action lawsuit over the cancelled Knights of the Old Republic 2 DLC. Now, you may initially think, wow, these are some salty players, but the Switch port last year came with the promise of DLC. Well, as the devs and publisher haven't followed through with their side of the deal, the fans may be able to force their hand here. And that's the show. Make sure to like and subscribe, check out last week's content right here, and see you tomorrow for your daily dose of gaming news.